Good morning, everyone. I'm Cindy, and this is David. Today, we're excited to present EduGenie, an agentic lecture planner to help teachers create lessons more efficiently. Teacher workload is a growing concern in British Columbia. The latest BC Teachers Federation survey shows that 60% of the teachers are overwhelmed, and they say more time for lesson planning would be the best way to reduce burnout. Personally, I've been tutoring Pre-Calculus 12 for many years, so I know how hard it is to generate strong lessons for this course. And that's why we chose to support BC Pre-Calculus 12 teachers by proposing EduGenie, where a teacher can simply specify a few lesson settings, and then our system will generate a classroom-ready lesson plan. These are our inputs, and users can select these parameters, which capture key variations while keeping our scope manageable. We also reference the official curriculum and textbook to ensure alignment with required learning outcomes. Here's a good example of our output, which is a complete lesson package consisting a well-structured lecture flow, a very detailed full teaching script, and a homework set, all compiled into one single PDF document. Here is a short demo of our system. So basically, the user starts by selecting the lesson settings, click Generate Lesson, and then there is the lecture's flow. For example, if we want a longer warm-up, we can submit this feedback and then approve the revision at your discretion. And now this is the full teaching script. Again, you can provide any feedback you want or approve once you're satisfied. Finally, you can revise the homework section. And then after this is approved, you can download everything as a nicely formatted PDF. So we generate our data set just like that by sampling all combinations of the input parameters and counted each produced package as a single data sample. We also designed a scoring rubric to evaluate our outputs, and the labels serve as and the scores serve as labels for our data.
We first tried the single prompt approach, but we found the lecture flow was broken into very broad segments. The script lacked detail, and the revisions were slow because the feedback only happened after the whole lesson was generated. So we designed a 3-agent pipeline that follows the natural lesson planning procedure. The user input and the curriculum-based learning outcomes are shared across all the agents. The pipeline runs in sequence. The structure agent creates the lecture flow, the content agent expands them into a full teaching script, and the assessment agent generates homework. At every stage, users can either approve or give feedback before it moves to the next agent, keeping the lessons easy to revise.
We evaluated our system using two metrics. For lesson quality, we generated outputs for all 24 input combinations using both our system and the single prompt baseline, and scored them independently using this rubric, which measures both agent level and overall pipeline quality. To avoid bias, we conducted a blind evaluation by anonymizing and shuffling all packages, so we didn't know which system they came from while scoring. After normalizing and averaging the scores, we ran a one-tailed pair t-test to determine whether our system performed better than baseline. To test feedback handling, we ran 10 tests per agent using a very simple binary measure. A trial was counted as successful only if the requested change was applied correctly while the rest remained stable. And for the results, our t-test returned a t-statistic of 8.5 and a p-value far below 0.01, showing that our system has a statistically significant improvement over the baseline with a very small probability that this happened due to chance. For feedback, all agents succeeded in most cases. The structure and assessment agents were highly reliable, and the content agent was slightly lower because script edits were far more complex, so sometimes it introduced unintended changes elsewhere.
Even though our system achieved an overall strong performance, we did notice one issue. For 40-minute lessons aimed at weak students, we found that the system often tries to cover too many learning outcomes at once. The pacing becomes too fast, and there isn't enough time to explain the ideas in smaller steps. We believe this happens because our system currently assumes that a single lesson must cover an entire chapter. But in real classrooms, teachers typically spread a lesson into they usually spread a topic into multiple lessons. Well, this can be improved by supporting multiple lesson planning to allow the system break the content into smaller steps. And the system behavior achieves our overall expectation that spread the task across multiple agents, improve the lesson planning quality. And the modular design of our system make it easy to expand to other lesson settings. On the other hand, the feedback handling could be improved. Right now, our system takes users' free feedbacks. So we could add guardrails to prevent unclear or irrational instructions from hurting our output quality. And we also found that human scoring was time-consuming. So having another evaluator agent would be helpful. Finally, in the future work, we would consider the input validation earlier and adopt a more robust evaluation setup. And finally, we were very happy with the progress we've made, and it has been a very valuable learning experience. We hope to keep improving our system so that one day it can be truly help the educators in the classrooms. Thank you for listening.